guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is my challenge video for the first Australian and New Zealand Face Awards. The challenge theme that we were given today was National Pride, and I wanted to show my love for my country with the beautiful Great Barrier Reef. I also wanted to spice things up a bit, so I chucked in some UV paint, neon coral, and an amazing and stunning unique animal that we have called a blue-ringed octopus. They do glow, so I thought it would be fun to play on in this video today. If you want to see me go far in this competition, please take the time to pause this video and go ahead and vote. I can't get anywhere without you guys. Please help Team Bonnie get into the next round. I'll leave all of the information in the description box below and at the end of the video for voting. So to start out with my neon coral, I'm applying some cling wrap down onto my working bench, and then I'm taking a non-expanding spray foam that you can get from the hardware store. If you get the expanding one, it's just going to grow a lot. So I got the non-expanding because it was also quick drying. I sprayed that out, left it overnight, and then peeled it off to get beautiful bits of coral. To paint them vibrant colours today, I'm using the NYX Liquid Suede lipsticks. To start out, I'm using the purple shades and applying that roughly all over the top and then blending that out with a brush. I went back in with a deeper shade and started to pop that in the crevices to give some nice shading and depth. To make it glow in the dark, I mixed in some UV paint with my liquid suede and popped that straight over the top in specific areas. To make sure that looks good on camera and reads well, I just turned all my lights off, got a little black light out and touched it up. I feel like I found a secret recipe because popping the liquid suede down first and then popping the water-based UV paint on top made it split and separate, and it just gave the most beautiful texture on camera. As you can see here, I'm just going ahead and repeating all of those steps on different sizes and shapes of coral. I made sure that I used some of them on the soft side that was attached to the cling wrap and some that is on the rough side, which is the spray foam surface. I made about 10 to 15 pieces of coral in total. The only one I didn't have a liquid suede for was the bright yellow, but the rest of them have nudes, pinks, purples and oranges underneath. Moving on to my Octopus Prosthetic, I'm going to teach you how to make this cheap, quick and easy prosthetic that is lightweight for your face. It only took me about 2 hours in total, but it took about 2 days to dry. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of a foam rod. This is backing rod and you can get it from the hardware store. I cut that up into 8 different sized tentacles just to make sure that I had a little bit of variety going on. I then took some wire and cut that to fit every single individual tentacle, and then I started to feed that through the center of the foam just to make sure we have some stability, and then we can bend them into plenty of different shapes. For safety, you really need to ensure that you cut off plenty of all that excess wire. I went a little bit ham and cut off heaps because I wanted to make sure it wasn't poking out and couldn't come into contact with the face. Now to move on to the prosthetic making, I'm taking some liquid latex and pouring that into a container with flour and mixing that up. I go back and forth and keep mixing until I get the consistency that I'm after. You'll get used to this the more that you play around with it, and definitely depending on what you're after, you might need it thicker or thinner. I went with a really gluggy paste and started to apply that straight onto the center of the forehead. To smooth that away, I'm applying regular liquid latex on my hands and then just buffing that down into the face cast. I do have a tutorial on my channel I just recently made on how to make a face cast on yourself at home. If you're interested, I will leave that linked in the description box below. As you guys can see, I'm just building up my brow bone area, shaping that and then blending that away down into the forehead. I wanted my forehead piece to be quite large, so I did use my big face cast in this video today. I also had a smaller, more petite one as well. The easiest way to apply your foam tentacles is to start from the nose out. I made sure that my nostrils and my mouth were completely free of any product. I could eat, drink and breathe completely fine with this mask on. As you guys can see, I'm just working from the center of my face outwards. I did pre-bend and style all of my foam pieces because once you stick them in and you start to wobble them around a bit, they kind of get pulled off of the face. So make sure you've got them in the position that you want and then just blend all of that away. I let this set for about 2 to 3 hours and used a hairdryer as well before I went ahead and started to work on the tentacles. The last thing I wanted to do was pull them out of the face before they were even set. Once I've got that done, as you guys can see, it started to turn a yellow color. I went ahead with some tissue paper and some regular liquid latex and started to build up and thicken the tentacles from the base down. They do taper to a thin edge, so don't stress too much. After I applied a few layers of that, I went over the whole entire thing with my thickened latex. I didn't want this to be smooth, so make sure that you have some beautiful textures going on and then let that dry overnight. Using a hairdryer will firm up the outer layers, but what's underneath, where it was quite thick with all the flour, will take a few days to cure, so make sure you just let that sit and dry by itself. I then went onto my little suckers. These are just plastic grommets that I cut in half and stuck down onto some sticky tape. I went ahead and painted them with a light cream acrylic paint because they were black and I needed them to be a white colour. So as you guys can see here, I did about 3 or 4 layers and then peeled all of them off once they were dry. I did have 2 different sizes of these, so when I stuck them down onto my prosthetic, I just used a non-toxic glue and made sure they tapered from thin to thick. Because my tentacles were bent, I could pretty much wrap them up and around the back, so not many of them were visible, but it still gave the effect. To blend them down more seamlessly into the prosthetic, I went around the edges with a bit of tissue paper and latex. After everything is completely dry and you're happy with your look, you can then remove it from the face cast. The easiest way to do this is by taking some sort of a powder. I'm using the NYX HD powder and the large fluffy brush. I'm going to start peeling away the edges and buffing the powder around it to ensure that all of the latex doesn't stick to itself. Once you've got that completely off, this is ready to be applied to the face. Starting out, I do have my contact lenses in, and yes, they are UV, which is super cool. I'm going to prime my face with the NYX Photo Loving Primer because we are putting so many things on today. I really want to protect my skin. To get perfect slick back hair, I'm using the Redken hairspray and applying that straight over the top and then smoothing that out. This is going to keep everything in place when we pop our bald cap on. To blend this away, I'm just going to use some liquid latex and adhere that down to the skin. We don't need ears for this look, so make sure you cover those up as well and stick all of that down. Out of habit, I lightly blended that down into the skin, but we definitely don't need to worry about edges today. To protect my eyebrows from all of the liquid latex, I'm brushing them up and then applying a non-toxic glue stick straight over the top. I let that dry in between layers and I did about 6 just to make sure they were very safe. Now it is finally time to apply the prosthetic onto the face. I'm going to line that up exactly where I want it and take my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk to just map out the area where I want my adhesive to go. Once you've got that down, you can start to apply your liquid latex. I'm applying some cotton wool straight over the top. This is going to give us a strong grip to make sure everything is very sturdy when we glue it down. Don't forget to apply your adhesive on the inside of the mask. Let it sit for a few minutes and then firmly press that down onto the face. Make sure it's nice and comfortable and it fits well. Then you can go around with a Q-tip and apply some adhesive to make sure everything is stuck down in the hard to reach places. To blend that down into the skin, I'm just using liquid latex and cotton wool. I didn't really focus on this too much because there's going to be so much detail going on. I just popped it on, gently blended it out and let it sit to dry. Taking a yellow body paint, I'm starting to apply that all over the face prosthetic. Make sure you get every little part of the tentacles as well, even though they do wrap around, and taking a smaller brush, apply that into the eye sockets quite carefully. To achieve the illusion that you are actually an octopus, you need to remove your real body. So I'm taking a black body paint and applying that all over my neck and chest area. I'm then going to take my yellow body paint and apply that straight on the top of my head. Then I'm going to take the black body paint on a small defining brush and apply that straight around the back of my head to the best of my abilities to give it a nice curved look. Once all of my body paint is dry, I'm then taking my NYX Wonder Sticks in the contour shade and starting to apply small little circles all over the tentacles and the face to map out where I want my blue rings to go. I was looking at reference photos of blue ringed octopuses and some of them did have quite symmetrical patterns. I just went with what I thought looked good from a makeup point of view, and then I went in with an angle brush and started to blend out that contour stick. Because it's a cream product, it's really going to help all of the eyeshadow stick down and blend away on top of the latex. I'm then going to take this bright blue, Vivid Bright NYX liquid liner and start to apply my blue rings. As you can see, they were quite thin, and then I just went back in and started to thicken them up to make them look a little bit more bold. Off camera, I did go ahead and apply some UV paint on top, but it was pretty much the exact same footage because it's almost the exact same blue. I then went in with my NYX Avon Pop palette and I'm taking the dark brown and black and gently applying that inside and around my blue rings. Again, I was looking at reference photos to really get the shading nice and accurate. A lot of them are quite different, so I just went with the one that I thought was the prettiest. If you struggle with blending out your eyeshadow, you can go back in with a little bit of that yellow body paint and tap it around the edges. Whenever you're applying a UV paint, it's always good to check in between that everything is nice and polished and blended. I also finished off my under eye area with a few more small circles and the NYX Kohl pencil in a metallic blue shade. Last but not least, I'm applying the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk all over my little suckers on my tentacles to make them nice and bright so they stand out a little bit more. This is the completed look for the octopus. I then went ahead and applied the black light so you guys could see how glowy and beautiful and angry this looked. Now it is finally time to glue on our coral. I'm just using a prosthetic adhesive and applying that all over my chest area, using the different sizes, shapes and colors to give a beautiful realistic effect. So that's it guys, that is the end of my video. I hope you all enjoyed my take on the Great Barrier Reef. It was so much fun to make this video and I really hope that I can get through to the next challenge. If you're Team Bonnie and you enjoyed this, please don't forget to vote for me. The voting period starts today, May 18th to the 22nd. It only opens for 5 days. You can vote 3 times per day per email and I really need your guys' help. Every vote counts and that will get me one step closer to my dream. Please vote for me so I can create some more awesome videos for you guys. This has been so much fun and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone.